Okay, so welcome everyone to the second video me and Codex are making together. Now, don't expect too much from this. We are still, working the kinks out of this format. It is, a harder format to do. But on this specific video, we want to talk about what happened to Luna, what's the current situation of the market, and our thoughts for the future. So, Codex, what do you have to say?
Yeah. Today we'll be talking about the drop that we experienced in the last 6 to 7 months now, and we'll also discuss what has happened with Luna so far. So we have a dashboard, the following dashboard. I think you can display it. Yeah.
Is that the image that you sent me?
Yeah.
Okay, boom. Here it is.
The following dashboard. Yeah, let's just check it out. As you can see, everyone, the following dashboard basically displays how much the famous cryptocurrencies went down this market cycle in comparison to in March of 2020 and also back in 2018. I've posted this on my Patreon today, and we'll be taking a look at it because I think it's very important to discuss altcoins performances in bearish phases. So the first thing we can notice is that Luna got wiped out, okay? Which, as I said, we'll talk about later on. And the other thing, the crypto that catches the eye is Chainlink and its performance, which was quite poor in the last 12 months or so. And even in the uptrend back at the start of last year, Link didn't really do much. It didn't really impress. I mean, it did go up, I think, from $8 at the end of 2020 to an all-time high of roughly 53 US dollars. But it's not what we expected from it. We expected much more, to be honest. I expected much more personally. I personally like Link. I hold it. I think it's an amazing project that basically has no competition whatsoever in its field. But this performance poses several questions about the project and its development. I'm really not sure why it hasn't been doing well. But what I can say is that marketing isn't Link's strongest point. And they have also been dumping some of their bags to pay for the, what is it called, for the developments. And so that could be the reason, in my opinion.
Yeah. Overall, I think, it's pretty fair to say that usually in bear markets, altcoins tend to be outperformed by Bitcoin simply because they crash way, way harder. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance that, represents this pretty, seamlessly, we can look at it and we'll see that just this week specifically, when Bitcoin crashed so deeply, it has increased a lot, right? And usually when Bitcoin is trending down, the Bitcoin dominance is trending up just because the altcoins trend down so much more.
Yeah.
And this is why
performance in the bear market is horrible.
Yeah, and this is why
we've said, and I think in the last video we've said, like, if Bitcoin drops down, altcoins will get hammered.
Yes. And this is why every single time that, I do some analysis on altcoins, I always tend to say that I would rather not be exposed to altcoins on the setting of a downtrend just because it requires so much more attention. Like, you may even be able to make some money out of it, but it would require you to pay a lot of attention to charts and to understand them really well, which, well, right now, to be very honest, I just don't have the time to be staring at the chart of Ethereum like 12 hours a day, right? So yeah.
Well, let's go back to the chart. Like, there is a lot of things to discuss. FTM, Phantom, oh my god, FTM is also down bad, and this is one of the coins that have been controversial this year, especially after Andre, which is basically their core dev left. So if you don't know who Andre Konya is, he's basically a big guy in the DeFi world, and he was the core dev of Phantom, and he's the guy that made Yearn Finance, by the way. So this guy, he was the core dev. He left Phantom, the Phantom Foundation, about 3 months ago under undisclosed reasons, and since then the price has just been getting hammered. I don't believe that Phantom will last. I've said this many times in the past. I think the project is very shady, to be completely honest. And I've said this since it was at 1.8 or 1.7 US dollars. So this isn't a new opinion from my part. And to make things worse, let me tell you about this. What is it called? I think USTB. Yeah, USTB. Phantom, they have an algorithmic stable coin. That provides 20% APY too. So it's basically USD 2.0. You can check it on Twitter and click on the link. It's much, yeah, on Phantom. it's even worse. Like you could check it on Twitter and like click on the link. They have their stable coin, which provides, as I say, 20% APY. So it's basically USD 2.0. Now its market cap is nowhere near other stables. So it's still too small for it to pose a threat to the cryptocurrency asset. But if Phantom manages somehow to get through this bear market, which I doubt personally, then this stable coin is going to be a mess. 20% APY isn't sustainable at all in a bear market. There is like a page you can check it out. You can type USD. It's USD.
Oh, USDB. Okay.
It's USDB. Yeah, it's down 9.5. You've seen it. Like it's the second one. Yeah, okay. It's crazy. To click on the link USDB balance. It's insane. 20%. They used to offer 32.5, I think, at some point, like last month. Stablecoin farming.
As we've seen with the Anchor USD thing, this is just not sustainable, right?
Yeah, just read down below. USDB is the next generation algorithmic stablecoin. It's written down below on the left side. It's insane.
Yeah, it's basically I haven't looked at the code, but it honestly feels very similar to the Anchor protocol, right? And so it has the same vulnerabilities. Also, I don't know.
And we've talked about Anchor in the past. We
have a specific article here on our newsletter.
This was the first edition of the newsletter.
Yeah, and the main point that I talked about on Anchor was that the strategy that they were using to just not run out of money to give to people was just put more free money into it. So we can see that at some point the reserves were at basically zero. So their solution was to inject artificially like $500 million on the treasury of the protocol, but they didn't make like anything to make the yield more sustainable. And so the treasury kept decreasing every single day. So it would at one point run out. Okay, they just don't have infinite free money. And so it did. Okay, it kind of did. It ran out of liquidity. Let's check the actual treasury today. I'm not sure if the page is still up. Let's see if I posted
like not only this, we've said in the article, like Anchor, they've worked with Wonderland, and the Wonderland team, their CFO is basically Michael Patchen or Omar Donani, depending on his real name. He's the guy who was involved in the 250 million Quadriga CX scam. We've said this, and like if you read something like this, if you read that your investments, like the team is working in the background with scammers and you still invest in it, then I'm sorry, like you can't really be mad when you lose your money. If you know that the team is working with scammers and you lose your money, you can't be mad. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, and also as we were talking like just a little bit before I started recording, a lot of Anchor, just because they were offering such big yields, there was a lot of leverage, like introduced into this space. And so as soon as Luna or UST lost just a little bit of value, as soon as UST went a little bit off peg, a bunch of people would be liquidated, which would force more sell pressure, and then liquidate even more people, and then liquidate even more people, and make the peg go even lower. And with the way that Luna is designed, UST being below the peg means that there is like massive downward pressure on Luna, because you can pretty much just print free money, right? Because if you buy one UST, you can always redeem it for $1 worth of Luna. And so if UST is below the current, like the $1, you can redeem it for Luna. And if there is a lot of selling pressure on UST and it is like at 60 cents, then you are making a big amount of money, and the value of Luna is going a lot down, and that implies that UST is also going down. And it's basically a never-ending cascade of just selling and selling and selling until it eventually goes to zero, as we've seen.
These are algorithmic stable coins. Like they are basically stable coins that are backed by other assets, which in USD's case it was Luna, and they are super sensitive. And so like, I don't think like algorithmic stable coins are ready to enter this market, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because, whenever there is a run to the bank, it seems that they fail, right? That's what happened with Iron Finance. That's what happened. I think Do Kwon had like a previous algorithmic stablecoin project that also
Yeah,
failed.
he did.
That's what happened to basically all algorithmic stablecoins that are not, collateralized. Because, for example, DAI, if you look at DAI, it is an algorithmic stablecoin, but like 60% of all DAI is backed by USDC, I think. So, it at least has some treasury to back if someone wants to run to the bank, right? And UST basically did not, right? And we have seen what happened.
Last week have like teach us a lot of lessons. Never
Yes.
invest in a 20% APY stable coin. Never invest with an arrogant CEO who can't take criticism and like improve his product.
Yeah.
What did he say? Will die on my hands.
Dao he would die on my hand, and he would say like everyone that criticizes his project were gonna die poor or something like that, which was pretty ironic, I think. And even as USD was depegging, he was downplaying it as it was nothing major or whatever.
Yeah, chill,
Right?
guys. We got it.
Yeah.
Steady, boys. Steady.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think that just saying, don't invest in something that promotes 20% APY because it's not sustainable, that doesn't help a lot of people, because what these projects do is that they convince people that it's not forever, that they're going to change it, and they never do, right? They convince people that their algorithm is different and this is going to solve the problems that the last one went through, and it doesn't, right? And just be mindful of these algorithmic, something that's backed by nothing, right? Be mindful of these things. Don't invest too much. And even, it can be the top 2 project. It can be second only to Bitcoin. It's never too big to fail. Okay. As we've seen with Luna. So what else? What else can you say about this chart?
If we go back to the dashboard, what is it called? Ethereum. Okay, going back to the dashboard, the most important thing I think we should focus on now is Ethereum. I think it has done incredibly well this market cycle. Look, it's down 65%. I mean, it went down 65% and it's down about 60% now. And 65% is a lot. I never said that it's not, but it's basically down at the same rate as Bitcoin, which poses the question, should we really hold Bitcoin? If Ethereum gives us a better return in a bull market, in a bull run, and if Ethereum goes as the same rate as Bitcoin in a bear market and in a bearish phase, then why would we hold Bitcoin? This is the question. We don't know the answer yet, because like the bear market isn't over. We don't know if it's over or not. We don't know if we will go lower. We don't have like all the answers yet, and so we'll see. But I think that Ethereum has proven that it's the king now. It's the king in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the king of altcoins, I would say. Like, I think there are 2, equally, reasonable strategies that you could adopt in a downtrend from now on. There's like the more conservative one, which is just focusing on Bitcoin. And this is proven to do, better, or at least, just around the same as holding Bitcoin and a bag of altcoins. Or if you want to do something, a little bit riskier that isn't, backed by as much data as just using Bitcoin, is to, do some part of it, at least in Ethereum, right? During a downturn, because it might outperform Bitcoin when the uptrend begins.
I believe that this downtrend isn't over, to be honest. I've been the guy that has been bearish when everyone was bullish. I've been bearish since November. Like, I know like 2 or 3 people that have been bearish since November. We had like inflation reach. We've got the CPI. It was at 6.3 or 6.8, I remember. And like, I knew things were heading south. Things were going bad. And like people don't get this. People didn't care. And things are getting bad now. This could be it. Things could get worse now. I believe that the downtrend isn't over. Yes, we could see some relief in the next few weeks. It's definitely possible. We've had a strong downward pressure for a very long time now, and experiencing a relief is very likely, okay? But this doesn't mean that the downtrend is over. Bitcoin went down to 33K in the past, like 3 or 4 months ago, and then it went up all the way to 48K when the Kwon started buying BTC, and then it went down now to 28K or 26K on some exchanges. It even went to 24K on Binance.
Yeah, I
And
think
so
on
I
Coinbase it
honestly
was even lower. Like, let's see.
On which exchange? On Binance it was like 24K. I don't think that this downtrend is over. I think it will.
So on Coinbase it was 25,338. On Binance,
Yeah,
I think it was a little bit higher.
on Binance it was the lowest.
Yeah.
Binance.
No,
Yeah,
Binance
Binance
was
was the lowest. It was like
26,700. Binance was 26,700. Maybe it
No,
was
no, no. It
Binance
was
US.
way lower. Not like Tether USD. It was BTC USD, the US dollar, the US dollar.
Oh yeah, yeah. 23,884.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was so yeah. It went down super fast. Liquidity issues and all of that. But yeah, I don't think that this downtrend is over. I think there is still some downward pressure in the space. I think on the macro scale, things still look bad. We've got the latest CPI release, which was the inflation numbers are at 8.3%. We expected 8.1. Yeah, the next CPI will be important. I think that the Feds will go with 75 basis points next, which would shake us again. Yeah, as long as inflation is high, as long as the Feds are hiking rates, things will just keep getting worse. That's it.
Yeah, we have had just
This
I would
conversation.
say, yeah, no, I would say that the current conditions we are seeing for the whole market, not just Bitcoin, is something that overall the crypto market has never experienced, right? We are going through
Yeah.
such a massive downtrend even in traditional assets that even with
Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. It's down what 80, 85. It's even the stock market is getting hammered. It's this is a rough time in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think that those who stick by, those who invest in these times, those who follow their strategy, those who DCA, or they keep like dollar cost averaging and do it dynamically according to a risk metric, I think that those will make it. Giving up in these times is it makes no sense to me. I think that these are lifetime opportunities. And imagine this as like the 2020 March crash or like the 2018 crypto crash. I think that using these opportunities to your favor is what will make you rich.
Exactly.
If that's your goal, of course. I mean,
yeah. I mean, who wouldn't, sell their family for buying Bitcoin around these ranges, right?
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, who wouldn't? I mean, it is pretty tempting. So yeah, I think this is about where we are at now. I also think that this downtrend will continue. There's just nothing that makes me think that this was the bottom, right? Because on YouTube, people are already saying that this was the bottom just because it was such a long wick downwards. But I don't think it is. I don't think we'll see the bottom as soon as these people are thinking.
Yeah.
I would say this bear market would drag on to at least the end of this year, right?
Yeah. Perhaps even Q1 of next year.
Perhaps even, early next year. And yeah, until then, we'll just, obviously we cannot go straight down, right?
Yeah, but it's always like relief phases, going up, going down. You experience a short-term relief phase. You breathe for a little bit before
just
like
a straight arrow, but it's something more like down and up and down and up and down and so on and so forth.
Until we bottom out. That's it.
Yeah. And as long as we keep DCAing, then I feel like it's all good, as long as you don't use money that you cannot afford to lose. So I think this is a good spot to end it. Do you have any more stuff to talk about?
Nah, well, we don't have anything else to say. Thanks guys for watching this video.
Thanks everyone for watching. If you want to sign up for more newsletter, more content, exclusive content, and a lot of videos, classes, and a Wyckoff course that I'm gonna do. You can sign up at thecryptogarden.io and join us in our Discord server, join the discussion, and I'll see you then. Okay.